that's one of the new ones. And that just came out of my little note thing there. It's like, oh yeah, that's a concept, right? And that's just about being, rock and roll, being on the road and stuff.
That's interesting. I just realized I didn't press. Asked you to record, but I didn't press record, which I did the first time too. Oh well.
Oh, and you didn't get that.
No, I
That's all
didn't, which is too bad. It's a rocking song. It really fits
I can
the other
I'll see.
new
Uh,
song I listened to. The sounds. What's it called?
are we
Talk to me,
recording now?
God. Me. I am recording now. Yeah.
Okay. I don't know if you're interested. What I was going to show you. Well, I'll play another track, just a little bit of. This is the.
If you get too close, you might get burned. That's a lesson you should have already learned. Maybe you choose, you should have jogged. Now it's all an uphill slog. You don't know how it all turns out. You're not sure what it's all about. And you may be wondering why it's going down and sparks are gonna fly. How you end up in this part of town where the streets are mean when the sun goes down, and the locals don't have the best of intentions, and you don't know what's all.
Hello.
You might fear how it'll all turn out. You're starting to know what it's all about. Now you know how, and you know why. It's going down, and sparks are gonna fly. Sparks are gonna fly. Well, it could be bad, and it could get worse. The sparks are gonna fly. But it must be good, and it might be great. The sparks are gonna fly. Sparks are gonna fly. Oh, sparks are gonna fly.
Ah, my system's
Now
overloading.
do.
Anyway, so
Well,
that's the
it's,
title track.
yeah. What's interesting is the track before that, which I didn't record, and this one's just a straight in your face rock and roll song. This
Yeah.
one's very bluesy. I always thought like you have a really bluesy sounding voice at times.
This one is more kind of what I like to be. And it's interesting because I've got a guy that is a drummer that I know, who was the head of uh, which one? CBS, Frank Gigliotti, who I met not that long ago, and has been encouraging me. I sent him this song, and he sent me back. And this is a guy who, you know, was signed Loverboy, and I went to his place over in, where is it, the North Shore, and you go up this little room where he's got his drum set up, and there's guys on the wall. There's the people that he had to do with. There's unknowns like Simon and Garfunkel and right, all these things. So that's anyway. So yeah, he sent me a note back on this. Says, Frank, you still got it. Keep going. So it's little things like that kind of give you some encouragement. Anyway, so there's that. Yeah, well, it's interesting you should mention that. If you and I don't know, how much time you. Let me know if we're running out of time here, but I'll play another. Speaking of blues, and there's that one. By the way, that one I wrote that in minutes.
Really,
Yeah, yeah, because I just get kind of a funk feel going, right? And I like see I when I'm writing, I don't do what's called 5/3 chords. I like to just do. Right? Just kind of simple little bits that hint at the chord.
Oh yeah.
Um, just because to me there's more tension to it. And anyway, so on this one, so the concept, well, it's kind of neat because it's based on when my earlier band Self Portrait was in Detroit, playing in Detroit, and that was an experience in itself because we ended up in just a terrible place. Uh, but it was during the Hamtramck riots, which
Okay.
would be, I guess that'd be 60s, late 60s, late 60s. And we got told if you're driving down through downtown Detroit and there's a stoplight, if there's no traffic coming the other way, don't stop, keep going, because you're white and you'll be dead. It
Oh
was like,
wow.
well, we were just, a little naive guy from Chemainus, British Columbia, and I was like, anyway, so the last verse, which you didn't get to hear, now she's sitting on the stoop with a look in her eye. Something, and of course, the use of the word stoop. One of my favorite musicals is Little Shop of Horrors, which
Yeah, great
I've
one.
done a number of times at Theater Under the Stars, and with school we did it. And there's a scene at the beginning where the kids there's all these kind of people hanging out on the stoop, right? And Mushnik comes out, get away, you ragamuffins, right? So I always like the image of the stoop. So the last verse though is about well, the second verse is how'd you end up in this part of town where the streets are mean when the sun goes down, and the locals don't have the best of intentions, and you might not, and you don't know a soul around. So that was in my mind was the Detroit experience. And then the last verse is she's sitting on the stoop with a look in her eye. So I forget what the next line is, but basically what is, and it says, and and basically how dangerous this woman is giving him the eye, right? Kind of like, hey, babe, and he's like thinking, "Oh, no, I'm gonna die if I, but I gotta try, right? And
Right.
there's a line later on that says, and you may not have the best of intentions, and she may not have the best of intentions, but sparks are gonna fly. Right, so it's all about the sort of the tension of the situation. So that was like a story that just wrote itself.
That's
And the
awesome.
one I'm just going to play, I'll show you got a video which I haven't put out yet. Uh, when I had the It's About Time album, which I never really released because I sent it out to a couple of radio stations locally, like Fox and the one in Victoria. And I sent a little blurb with it saying, "Oh, you might remember me from Trooper," and so they might listen to it and not think it was just nothing.
Yeah.
And which wouldn't be right either because they should listen to what people send them because it's their heart and soul, right? I never got an answer back. They never played it, obviously. So I got pretty discouraged and just said, well, the hell of it with it. There's no point. But then I thought, there's a blues station in Vancouver. It's kind of like a little smaller operation. I'll go in there. So I went in there, met them. They were very nice, young guys, and they showed me around. And so I gave him a copy of the CD. And on the way out, I'm going, and he says, well, we're a blues station. I said, yeah, because I'm a rock and roller, right? And
Yeah.
I said, but on my It's About Time album, the title track is like a Huey and the Lewis inspired shuffle. That's a blue, an offshoot of blues. And I said, there's a song on there called In the Cool of the Evening, which is a secular gospel song. I said, so that's the kind of blues, right? There I am being defensive. Anyway, I walked out and I realized they're never going to play my stuff. They're not even going to bother, right? Because it's not blues.
Yeah.
So I was kind of discouraging. Anyway, about within 4 months, they went under, which,
Yeah.
for whatever that's worth. But I'll play you some of this. Oh, can you see that? Probably can't, right?
I can't see it. No.
Okay, I got to share here. Let me share a screen. One participant can share at a time. Yeah, that's fine. Okay. Yeah. Wait a second. Can you see a good? Let me know if you can see a guy with a guitar. Oh, okay. Screen one. There can share. Whoops.
Oh, now I can see your laptop.
Okay.
Or,
Okay. I gotta start again here.
well, here we go. Still some life left in me.
Wrong song. We'll come back to that in a sec. Hang on. Which way do I go? Oh, here we go.
Do I need more dirt under my fingernails? Do I need more sweat on my brow? Should I pay a debt to society by spending the night in jail? Should I call the governor on the telephone? Say, please, won't you set me free? I'll offer bribes, say my dog has died and my cat is caught in a tree. Is the blues enough for you, baby? Soothe your soul. I've got dues I pay for living. Will the paper I'm down on my knees, I'm begging Well, my little feet have walked 100 miles from the Atrophy to Tonopah, and every rig that they ever weighed to ride with me behind the wheel. My dough won't rise and my ale is stale, and that possum meat is very, very dry. I walked along up the highway hill, the yard is sign, fresh roadkill. Is the blues enough for you, baby? Soothe your
Anyway, so that's that's my protest. How do I get it? Stop share? Okay. That's my protest against the station. Which kind of like, okay, I'm white, I'm middle class, I got no right to complain. But I think I'm having fun with it, and there's some neat stuff in it. The little feet reference. I don't know if you know that band at all.
I've heard the band. I know the name, but I couldn't
They had
name
a
a
song
song by
called
him.
Willing, and it's I've been from Tucson to Tucumcari to Tehachapi to Tonopah, which I've driven every kind of rig that ever been weighed. I even drove the back roads so I wouldn't get weighed. Give me weed, white sand, wine. It's about being a truck driver and keeping yourself going with weeds and uppers and stuff. So that's a Little Feat song, and that shot is their album cover. So it's a little
Okay.
tribute to Little Feat, right? And there's little things like my possum meat is very, very dry, which you wouldn't catch, but there's a tripod with something cooking over the fire, and it's a pair of running shoes, right? So it's like it ain't possum meat. He's cooking runners, sticky runner shoes. So there's a lot of little. I like to have fun, but I have to do these things with no budget, right?
Yeah.
Which is like, and thank heavens for Unsplash. But that's again that I just that I just to have a different subject to sing about. So I'm kind of because and I've got love ballads on the album. I've got standard. There's a song that I wrote. um, yeah, Never Gonna Smile Again. That was kind of an offshoot. I liked um, Quiet Desperation so much. I wanted to write a follow up to that,
Oh,
and
nice.
so I've got it's kind of a follow up to that. So it's just anything kind of that interests me. So I don't try to I don't try to be like anybody else in my writing because it's like, what's the point? They do it better. Um, and I don't necessarily try to change with the times. I just try to write a decent song, and for me, that might contain a bridge, and it might contain, you know what I mean, and it'll have an ending, and it might have an intro, just because that's how I do business, and I'm not going to apologize for it. It's just like I can't see myself trying to write, Friday, Friday, wish it was Monday or
Well,
whatever.
I wish somebody hadn't written that one, probably, but
Well, I'm happy for them. They got, made some money and got some success out of it.
it's interesting that you talk about ballads because the songs on the albums that were bigger were more rock songs. But on your solo album, both "Humor Me," which is a semi ballad, and then what's it called? "Forever Ended Yesterday" is just a brilliant ballad in my mind.
Thank you. Forever Ended Yesterday. That's my tribute to Paul McCartney
Oh,
because instead of going yesterday, yesterday uh, came suddenly, is just a lyric switch, but it's the same turnaround.
interesting.
Forever ended yesterday, right? Hopefully enough different that nobody, well, he wouldn't even, if it had been a hit, then I could have got sued maybe. But it's a trip, it's an homage. But it's also saying worse than forever, worse than yesterday came suddenly and it was a bad thing because I lost my love. This is, and the whole thing about, oh, love is forever. And then, and the concept of, yeah, well, yeah, maybe our love was forever, but it forever ended yesterday. It's over. Which I think is just a neat way to look at it, right? And then what was
Yep.
the other song? Oh,
Humor Me.
Humor Me um, was inspired, believe it or not, by Sarah McLachlan.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, yeah. I just thought, oh, I like, the in the arms of it, whatever. The one that's been used for the animal shelters is just gotta, it just gets you there, right?
Yeah.
And so I thought, yeah, and of course the theme of that is, yeah, I know it's over, but just humor me for this one last time. Pretend that, or another time again. Uh, just let's play make believe, and that it's not over. But I realize it is, right?
Yeah. I have a friend going through that right now, so I think that's how
Okay.
it really hit him.
Uh, yeah, it's and that you see that song. If I have a complaint about it, it's a bit too repetitious. But I like to do see just a little break in the middle and sorry. Sorry. Oh yeah. Hold me again, and then I do the hold me again, hold me again, just humor me. There's some just little altered notes to the and changes in the progression that I think I haven't heard in other artists. And same with the title track. It's about time. There's some changes in that it's funny. There's a guy, I forget his name. Oh, Beato. I forget his first name, Beato, that does reviews of songs and why they're great or why they're not. And he was talking about a lot of the contemporary stuff. And he's listening and he says, "Oh, that's a neat little turnaround there, right?" And to him, that's what gives it a little bit more depth. And I'd like to think I do that with my songs, where it's like I'm basically repeating the same thing, but I'll do an altered bass line. Like even in Humor Me, at the end, instead of doing that, I go, I just do the pedal bass on F. And so to me, that's just enough of a variety to stop it from being boring for me, right?
Well, it's interesting because I look at your like that I look the whole album's awesome, but I look at the first three songs you got that really in your face because I feel like it, and then the sequel kind of what's it called this Don't Come Crying, which feels like the sequel lyrically, um, and then but then your next song It's About Time is like a really different style, right? Jazzy, bluesy mixture,
Well,
and
as
then
I
you got
say, it's a little bit inspired by Huey Lewis.
yeah, which yeah you said that earlier. I'm like, oh, it's interesting that you say that because then you have We Had It All, which is your like reflecting back about life song, which everybody my age and your
I
age
actually
has.
wrote, We Had It All, I actually wrote for Loverboy,
Oh, really?
but never got it to him. Well, I shouldn't say never, because after we did the benefit for Rocket Norton, the cancer benefit, I ran into the singer from Loverboy. We were heading out at the same time, or trying to get into the parking garage, which had been locked. Sort of vehicles were stuck on there, and we were outside. And I said, "Oh, by the way, I've got a song I kind of wrote for you guys years ago." And he said, "Oh, send it along." So I sent it to him, and he said, "Oh, that's a catchy tune. I'll I'll run it up the flagpole and see if anybody's loose." I haven't heard anything back. Um, Bruce Allen has been able to kibosh a lot of things on me, but with the It's About Time album, I sent him a copy of that, and he hand wrote me a thing back saying, "Frank, if this album had come out as the next album before you left Trooper," he said it would have been their biggest hit. Which coming from Bruce, that's a pretty nice compliment because I offended him years ago and he never forgave me.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and he basically, if you're in his camp, he's the best supporter, you know, and will do wonders for you. But if you're ever on the bad side of him, he'll never forgive you.
That's
And
too
it's
bad. 'Cause, yeah, I think he sounds right. It just sounds like an album that would have been really big in the 80s. But also, I mean, just it today's music is all over the place, but people my age who still enjoy, you know, performers who write their own music, play their own instruments. This sounds modern, 80s modern. That makes sense.
yeah, Graham Waymark, Randy's. Well, he was more of a bookkeeper, money manager than a manager. But at one time he said to me, "Well, Frank, who would want to listen to a whole album with your voice on it?" And it's like, "And you're my manager, right?" It's like, what the hell is that, right? It's like, gee whiz. So yeah, I'm really pleased with that album. It's funny. I showed the album to Tommy Stewart from Trooper, and he looks at the cover. He says, "This is way better than anything we ever did." You know. Well, the guy that did the artwork on that was one of my former students' dad. The former student now runs a media company called McMedia, and we stay in touch. And anyway, his dad is the art guy, and he's won Junos for his artwork for Network Records.
Oh, wow.
And I had this concept, which was I said I see a Salvador Dali, you know, the one with the melting clocks
Yeah.
kind of concept, and he took the bits and pieces that I sent him and did what he did with it. And I said, you know, what do I owe you? And he says, "Oh, you've done so much for my son that it's on me, right?"
Oh, that's
So
awesome.
yeah, it was really awesome. And I one of my regrets that it didn't do something was that he deserved the credit for that, you know. So yeah, life has its disappointments, but yeah, I'm pleased with the album. Even things like there's a song on there which reflects my teaching experience because I had students from so many cultures, you know, and especially it being I had a really good matchup at Lord being on the west side of Vancouver, and I would had an ESL choir, and they would come in speaking no English, and within a year they were more erudite than my Canadian-born people.
Hmm.
They were my jazz band, and they'd be on the soccer team, and they would be at everything, and they were just great kids, and so and at one point we were David Lam, who's Chinese born, was the lieutenant governor of BC. He came to the school, and so I did an arrangement with my jazz choir um, of a standard, well-known Chinese song. But then I did one verse in Mandarin, one verse in Cantonese, and then I did a third verse summing up that we are all not enhanced isn't the right word, the better for this multiculturalism, and I wrote that in English, and and we performed that, and David Lamb was just knocked out. It was just really cool, right? So the song on the I don't need to climb or I've never seen the Taj Mahal in summer. I could never wish upon a star, just to have you near me, right? Was basically uses the this it uses that mode.
Yeah.
Yes. I have no desire to climb the highest mountain. So that's I just write stuff that for me is different. Let's see how much time we got on this one. I don't know if you want to pick up another day, or do you want to keep going today, or do you want to quit, or
Well, let's pick up another day because I want to I want to check if I get this first video done or not because I don't know if I did record the first one. But I also want to talk about your new album, so we can add to that, give you because
yeah, that would be great. Let me just play you the bit of the video for the opening track, because this is one that I had around quite a while. Oh, I got to share. But it's kind of neat, and it's more serious. Share screen, and then we'll run out of time, and then we'll choose another day.
Yeah. Well, again, thanks for talking to me. It's been a great enjoyment, and learned a
Oh, I
lot.
love it. It's so nice to have somebody who actually knows this stuff and has listened to the stuff, and hopefully it's been okay for you, and it's been really enjoyable. So this is the opening track on the new album, and when it cuts us off, we'll talk and email and pick up another time.
Sounds great.
Nice to meet you.
You as well.
Oh, and this
I
is
used to be an angry young man. Now I'm simply furious. I was looking for the master plan. Now I'm merely curious. Screw the world. Heard enough about death and taxes. Don't know much about much, but I know what the facts is. Got my feet on the ground, but the price by the